Hey, how's it going, all you lovely people at Shut Door or Door Shutter, coming back to you with episode 12 of All the Mods 9. And today, I quickly set up a builder to kind of clear out a pretty decent area in the other dimension. And I wanted to do that because, of course, we can get the next tier of resources from all the mods, which is the Vibranium, and which that's what we're going to do. So we've got a all the Modium pickaxe, and we're just going to mine the vibranium. I wanted to make sure we had this pickaxe because I wasn't sure if the other one would actually work, the netherite pickaxe. So I went ahead and just made this. That looks like I got 11 from that, which is pretty decent. There is a little bit more over there. One of the things is we can't fly in this for some reason. Not 100% sure why that is. Kind of annoying, not going to lie. It doesn't make this harder. I mean, it just makes it more annoying. Because I've got a jetpack, I should be able to use it, but oh well. We probably will clear out part of the nether. I wanted to see kind of how a decent chunk of this would spawn. Really, we just had, what, 4 pieces plus 2? And I don't really see any more around here. So that really isn't the greatest. Also, this dimension is super dark, so it's not like it really netted a whole lot. We got a lot of resources from it. A lot of this raw ores and stuff, but other than that, not a whole lot of goodies. I accidentally created a non-clearing quarry, by the way. That's why I have a bunch of dirt in here. But yeah, let's get back up to the overworld, and we can hopefully get this stuff smelted down. And we should be on our way to make a little bit better of kind of armor or whatever we want to do with this. So we're just going to take this out. Okay, and we're just going to let this process. Okay, and of course we will want to get sulfuric acid and stuff in the future. Just right now I'm not really too worried about it. Okay, so we've got this. So it looks like we actually have access to getting the vibranium jetpack sooner or later as well. Not a bad thing. Oh, they made that recipe stupid. The ore laser base, goodness gracious. But I would assume that this can get you all the modium and stuff like that. That's probably why. Let's see. Yeah, there's raw vibranium. Where would the other one be? What's the other one called for all the modium? At all the modium, the unobtainium, is that in here? Let's see, what does this turn into for raw variation? So if we were to just smelt this, I don't know if it actually can be smelted normally. Raw unobtainium ore. Okay, so it can be. So raw unobtainium ore could be crafted, yes, using this, which this can be put in the end highlands to get you raw unobtainium. Okay, so now it makes a little bit more sense why that's so expensive. Honestly, definitely not a bad thing that it's so expensive. But yeah, we've got vibranium. Of course, we're getting a little bit more all the modium. I'm pretty sure what I'll do next time for vibranium is just clear out a large section of the nether rather than the other option, just because in that way we're clearing a larger area and also having the ability to fly. I'm not sure if it's rarer in that dimension or anything, but I mean, from what we saw, it wasn't really that common in that dimension. So let's get all of the raw variations thrown in here. Also, you can throw in the raw blocks, and it will produce, double. So we don't have to just, throw in the raw variations. We can throw in all. Alrighty, so off camera quickly, I went ahead and I crafted some better armor and some better tools. Basically, I didn't enchant anything new. We've had Stonebreaker, we've had our sword. The only thing I've crafted is actually the boots, because of course we had the osmium boots. I just made, of course, diamond boots, converted them to netherite, then got the aldemodium, and then I converted everything else into netherite and then back into aldemodium. Of course, the mending, unbreaking enchants are very useless because, of course, this stuff is indestructible, but that's okay. I've also went ahead, sword, a pickaxe. I also went ahead and made a shovel as well, just because I knew I'd be using it, because I actually went ahead and I cleared out this area behind us just so we have some more space to work overall. And I wanted to get into a handful of things here. So first things first, let's get into refined storage, wireless transmitter. Okay. I want to grab this, and then we probably want to grab some range upgrades from refined storage. Now, it looks like this may be a little expensive, so we may not have a lot of abilities to make quite a few range upgrades, but that's okay. So let's try and shoot for 4, but I'm pretty sure I'm only going to be able to make at least... Oh, I will be able to make 4. If we actually looked at the recipe for this, and we got the, warped pearls. I should have used these instead of normal ender pearls, but that's okay. So we're just going to place this down on top, if I can. I got a jetpack. Got to remember that. Okay. And then I want to throw the range upgrades in here. So this is definitely not the best. I think in that case, I'm going to grab some cables. And probably a handful more cables. And I'm actually going to run a cable line down towards that wall, basically. Let me get all of these placed, get the floor excavated, so that way we're able to kind of use it over in this area a little bit more. Once we get the, I think it's booster? And once we get the RS Infinity Booster, which isn't too bad, we just need a Nether Star. Honestly, actually, we probably could do this. The only thing I can see wrong is the Eyes of Ender. But it does use a ton of power. And then there's also the Dimension card, which allows you to use it infinitely across dimensions, while the Infinity Range Booster only allows for the overworld, or the dimension it's placed in, basically, to be used. Alright, so real quick, we're going to make up a crafting grid, the wireless crafting grid from Refined Storage add-ons here. This will allow for us to connect to the the wireless access point that we set up, right? So let's get that going. Dang it, I just took out the controller. I didn't mean to do that. I think what we need to do, just shift right click or just right click. I'm not 100% sure if shift right clicking works, but it may. Cover. Because I think when you break that, it breaks the cover. That's fine. Let's go get this powered. I probably should look at a flux controller as well real quick while we're doing this stuff, because that'll make this a lot easier. But we should have access to items wirelessly, and of course the ability to craft. So let's actually get the flux controller. I think we have enough stuff for that. So we just need a lot more flux blocks, which requires Eyes of Ender. So how many blocks do I need? Probably 4. I won't have enough for this, that's for sure. Yeah, because there's only 3. All right, let me try and find some more Ender Pearls. All right, so it looks like there's a biome in the Nether called the Withered Abyss that actually will be spawning normal Endermen and also Wither Skeletons. I'm not really caring about the Wither Skeletons. All right, so now we have everything to make a Flux Controller. That Flux Controller, let's just place that right here for right now. We don't really need to throw it over in the energy room because there's no real need for it. Wireless charging, armor slots, curio slots, hotbar slots, offhand, on-hand, enable, apply, and that actually should charge our jetpack, which, by the way, we have an emerald jetpack now as well. Kind of forgot to mention that. I just upgraded it from the diamond, which just gives us a little bit more speed and also a little bit more power. Alrighty, so let's get into Industrial Foregoing. The first thing we're going to grab is called a fluid extractor. Okay, this is your base component. This is what you need to get the entire mod started. We will need to grab another machine, but we'll grab that here in a second because this is the most important for now. We also need some sort of block placer. Okay, block placer. I guess we can't even build this yet, so let's not look at that. We have modular routers in here, right? We could do it this way. It's an option. And I think we're just going to send it. That'll be fine. And then we can get the placer module. Okay, just a couple of those, because we're going to build 2 systems of this, by the way. It's usually a good thing to build at least 2 if you can afford it. If you can only build 1, you can kind of stretch it if you need to. Okay, so we're also going to want to get some puller upgrades. I'm probably going to want to try and get those to at least a Mark II, so we actually can make this a little bit more convenient for us. Let's just convert all to 4. That'll be Mark II, which should be able to pull from arranged inventory, and we'll talk about that here in a second as well. All right, so let's grab 8 of these pity machine frames. Let's go and make 8 of these. Looks like we did not have enough pistons for that. Let's grab 2 more. And let's get into this. Actually, I guess we are going to need 2 Mark IIs, right? Let's also quickly get this thrown into our hotbar. What is the button for that? Options, controls, keybinds, category, refined storage add-ons. That is Control G. We're going to change that to F20, which is my mouse button. So that way, now we don't have to hold it. It doesn't have to be in our inventory. That is fantastic. All right, so we're going to place this down over here. And what we're going to do is we're going to get... I think we could either put our placer here or like in the ground here, or we could place it above. And what we're going to be placing actually is logs. So we're going to put our log here, and our fluid extractors are actually going to go around this log. Okay. And I think what we could do is let's do it down. Right there. And we can do... Do we want to do a botany pot? I'm not sure. We could do a botany pot kind of tree farm over here. Or we could just kind of figure out something else. Do we have any kind of terracotta? Actually, we have a whole bunch of different types of terracotta. Botany pot. Let's see. So I just showed brown terracotta. So let's go brown hopper pot. So we just need to make a hopper. And I don't think I can upgrade this. I can actually. Can't go any further than that. So if we actually just grabbed a chest and the sophisticated... I'm trying to remember if sophisticated backpacks... Or not sophisticated backpacks, sophisticated storage, void upgrade, and how that works. Okay, so let's actually give this a shot. So we're going to set this up in this corner. Put that there. Do we have any grass? We do. Grass is actually a faster speed. That's why I'm going to go for that. And then for fluid extraction, let's look at the blocks here. So acacia is 4. So acacia looks like it might be the best. Do we have any acacia seeds? Do we have a market block? We actually do have a market block. Let's grab a market block and see if we can actually get an acacia sapling. Because if we can get an acacia sapling, we should be able to get a better production at going here. Okay, so sapling. Guess you could just click saplings, can't we? Acacia. There we go. You can get a whole bunch of different seeds from this guy, by the way. Croptopia. Just different biomes of plenty stuff. Whole bunch of goodies out of this. Flowers even. And since we, of course, have thermal in here, we can do quite a bit with this as well, where we can, you know, get a plant out of here and then kind of just keep making it with the, what is that machine called? Thermal phytogenic insulator. Yep. But let's toss the acacia sapling in here. Let's toss that in there. Does this actually have JEI support anymore? It does. So you can see different types of ground, basically, what could be put in here. So that's actually a 1, while dirt is... Oh, where is the dirt? Dirt is 1. So I guess grass is not faster in this case. Usually it is. This time it's not. That's fine. All right. So we're going to let that go. And over time, it'll grow enough for us to actually be able to use it. All right. We're going to do puller. We're going to shift right click that on both because we're going to have it pull from both. And we actually could set this to once there produces a log here. All right, we got 4 acacia logs, so we're going to just put whitelist this. So it should only pull acacia logs out of this, right? And then I want to see about the void upgrade here. So we're going to block the voiding of this. Okay, so we're just going to void any. Only works with other upgrades / automation. Works in GUI as well. And then we should be able to put our acacia logs in here, and we should be fine, right? So sticks, saplings, all of that stuff just gets thrown into the aether, right? That is fantastic. Like that. All right. So let's grab the puller, and then let's grab the placer, which we're going to say the placer is going to place on the top direction. And since acacia is the only thing in here, we really don't need to filter this, but we're going to filter it nevertheless. Okay. So that should be good. We can place these back down here. And that is going to start getting us latex. Once this oak log dissipates, by the way, then it'll start placing the acacia. So that's a good thing, by the way, because we'll have a little bit of a buffer. But for right now, we're okay with that. All right, so the next thing is we want to do the exact same thing. So we're going to grab our modular router. We're going to put the puller upgrade. We're going to put a placer module. The placer module, we're going to take some acacia, make sure it's facing up, put that back in there. And I don't think we need to worry about... Oh, why is it not placing, actually? Why are you not placing? That should be placing. What am I doing wrong here? It doesn't need redstone because it's not set up that way. Almost every time I forget about FTB teams. This is something we've talked about before. But whenever you have a fake player, which is technically what the modular router is, this is also what a deployer does. Whenever you have issues and you have claimed team chunks, which is this right here, these purple blocks, this is technically a team. And within this boundary, if I do not specifically allow for fake players to be activated or be able to interact, they will not be able to function. Okay, this is a very weird case. It's always something that kind of throws me off because I don't remember it every time. But what happened is these were all set to false. These were all actually set to ally, just like this. And this was set to true. Okay, so let's get that set back. And what we're going to do is we're going to just see how this is not functioning, right? So we've got this set back to always. We don't have the redstone signal on at all. This should be placing. This is correct, okay? So what we'll do is we'll just reset what I just did, okay? So we're going to set this to allow fake players true, allow fake players by ID. We're going to turn that to false. You could do this if you knew what the fake players' names / IDs were. In this case, modular routers, I do not. The deployers, I believe it is just called a deployer, all lowercase, maybe capital. It's kind of one of those guessing games. There's some more information online if you look around, but for now, we're just going to say false. We're going to give everything a public access. Of course, if you're on a server, I would not recommend this because this is a very bad idea, but we're on a single player world, so we don't need to worry about this too much. But these settings for single player world will work. We can click accept, and right away, it's done. Okay, so that was our issue, right? So now we can get this put back in the ground, and we can move on. I always like troubleshooting this stuff and walking you guys through it because, of course, this stuff does happen. And, you know, sometimes I forget. I know we had that problem with FTB Skies. I know we solved it in FTB Skies. I'm glad we could solve it here. All right, so let's make sure we're placing on the up direction, and that should start cruising. We should start breaking down the acacia log, and that is awesome. Okay, so this is our first bit of progress towards getting latex. So latex then needs to be processed into rubber or into plastic, but let's look at how we get that done. So with the fluid extractor, we get what is called latex. So with latex, we can then put this into... Oh, I forget JEI doesn't have a recipe for this. Hold on. A latex processing unit. This thing right here. So the latex processing unit will take latex, or, you know, the liquid latex, convert it into dry rubber. So, first things first, we've got to mention, there is no tiny dry rubber any longer. This is actually something I caught on Twitter from the guy who makes this mod, or, you know, maintains the mod, and we don't have tiny dry rubber. So we don't need to run this repetitively through, you know, 9 tiny dry rubber to make one dry rubber. We now have just dry rubber. Okay? So that is fantastic. So this system here is going to be our gather latex system. It's all it does. Throws it into a tank, keeps it in its internal buffer, whatever we want to do. That's what this one's going to do. Okay? This one over here is going to be our plastic production one. So let's grab a latex processing unit. Looks like we need a couple buckets. And also, I guess this doesn't require a latex bucket anymore, unless this was a different recipe. But this looks like it doesn't require latex buckets anymore. Interesting. All right, so this is also going to need power. So let's actually grab a flux point real fast. Doodle-doo. We're just going to put this in the ground. Nothing too crazy. Okay. And we should be able to get a sink, because this needs water. And we're just going to put on the water. We're going to pull on the top. This is going to be very slow. If you want something a bit faster, just put a pipe here instead. And then your sink on top of the pipe that's pulling, you know, water into the actual latex processing unit. The next thing we need to do is actually get the fluid from here. So we could do this in several different ways. For right now, we're just going to pipe it in. Let's do create. Let's get rid of that pipe. Oh, that's an item pipe. Hold on. We need fluid pipes. My bad. Fluid pipes. There we go. Okay. Could we actually do that? I guess we could. We just, like, set the sink over here to where it just pulls and pushes everything in here. Guess we could do that. Okay, so then dry rubber, of course, needs to be smelted. So we're going to grab an energy pipe. Let's get an improved pipe upgrade here. So that improved pipe upgrade can go into a pipe right here, because we're just going to grab a... what do we got? Energized smelter, redstone furnace, iron furnace, upgraded to factory. Whatever you want to do, go ahead, do it. I'm just going to get a golden furnace. And then from a golden furnace, I'm going to do a diamond furnace. That's all I'm going to do. And then we're going to grab a factory augment. And we might as well just get a speed augment as well. That'll just speed things along. Nothing too terrible there. All right. So let's make sure we config this to... In the back is input, and the front... Actually... back is input, top is output. Just do a drawer. That'll work. And then here, of course, we can just say output push front just in case. And then we'll put our augment 1, 2, put our dry rubber back in here, split. And that is a completed plastic system. Oh, this drawer is locked. There we go. We unlock it, then we'll lock it back. Right? So this, of course, is definitely not going to be the fastest. This requires, I believe, about 1,000 millibuckets, so an entire bucket, to actually get latex producing, which is a-okay. Of course, if we actually got power to these, we could increase the speed at which this operates. So let's actually go ahead and do that. And if you, of course, read about the fluid extractor, it does tell you that tripled when power, so that will give us 12 millibuckets per work operation. So we might as well, right? Get a bang for our buck. But of course, you don't need power for this. If you are starting this mod just right out the gate and you don't have a lot of resources, you don't have to do what I'm doing. We don't have to put power here. And I love that about Industrial Foregoing, is you really don't need power to start out. I mean, a good source of power. I guess technically you need power, but there are some cheap alternatives out there for power you could look into. I'm pretty sure there is a pity... What is it called? I thought this actually had a coal generator or something. Like some cheap power source. I can't remember what it's called because I don't use it that much anymore. Yeah, there's the pitiful generator. This would technically work for you. It's a coal-based generator, nothing too fancy, but that would actually be a good source of power for a little bit until you get yourself further into it, and you could, of course, get plastic and stuff. So that's an option. Just wanted to throw that out there. There are a lot of different power generation sources from this, of course, but, you know, we're just looking. Alright, so that's going to triple our production. Of course, we could probably do that over here as well. I'm not really too worried about it. Right now, at least. Let's actually grab a tank of some sort. Let's see. Singularity tank. 32,000, or yeah. 32,000 millibuckets. We could get that to a jumbo tank, but for right now, singularity tank. It doesn't matter. It's going to take a while to fill it up since we don't have it on power. And I don't plan on doing too much with the liquid version right now until we get quite a lot of plastic. So, you know, we've got things. But anyway, we're going to wrap this one up here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I apologize for these videos coming out late almost every single day now this week. It's just been a fun one at work. And so, you know, these kind of hit the back burner. And I'm not going to, you know, sacrifice mental or physical health for these videos. I will admit that right here and right now. So definitely making sure I can sleep and get a good night's rest rather than just playing Minecraft. So thank you guys. Stay awesome. Can't wait to see you in the next video. Bye-bye.